Hey, it's good to see you again. So today what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a report of findings. So that basically is just gonna help me go over it's a little bit what we went over for your first visit and your consultation, and I'm gonna go more in depth on what I found during the consultation and inspection and your x-rays and stuff. So just a little, I know we hit on it whenever you came in for your first visit or your consultation and x-rays. So I just want to explain kind of what I do as a chiropractor. So my main goal is to restore your body back to its function. So all of our bodies know sort of how to function optimally. So whenever there's some interference, so this can be if you have any injuries, if you have subluxations, we talked about that last time, of your spine, that can interfere with the normal communication from your spine and your central nervous system out to your tissues. So my goal is to restore your body to proper alignment, proper flow of communication, so your body's functioning the best it can. All right, so let's just get into the report of findings. And if you have any questions, just stop me and I'll answer them. So looking back at your history, so you came in mainly seeking help because you had you said that right shoulder pain and you had that right leg pain that goes down below your knee. And then some other things I noticed. You said that your low back hurts whenever you cough and sneeze, so you had some low back issues going on whenever you came in. Some other things, you work at a desk job, so that can affect some things. You like to run and you used to play baseball. So all of these things just kind of help me formulate a diagnosis, kind of arrive on what's going on with you and how I can fix you best. So let's go over, so I kind of go in an order. So first, whenever we were I was just looking at your body and sort of and just touching your body to figure out what was going on. So I noticed you had some on your right shoulder, right below your right scapula. I noticed your muscles seem weaker. So this can actually indicate. So you had that right shoulder issue. So this can indicate some sort of pathology with your shoulder. So I'll get into that later. I also noticed you sort of want to lean towards your right side, so that can be related to that low back pain. Sometimes if your body's constantly compensating for changes. So one way that it compensates is sort of moving and trying to get in a more comfortable position to get you out of pain. And I also noticed you had some tight muscles on your low back on the right side, which also sort of confers the low back pain. And then we did some range of motion. So I kind of had you put your arms up in different ways, and then I had you do some movement with your body. And so I noticed whenever I was doing your arm range of motion, I noticed on that right arm, I know we discussed this, you're kind of reduced in all planes compared to your left shoulder. So that makes sense. You're having right shoulder issues. And then low back, I noticed you were kind of reduced whenever you bent to the left. And also when you bend forward, it seemed like you were more reduced than what's normal. And then I did some tests. I told you I was just kind of doing some orthopedic tests. And that just helps me sort of, so I know you have issues in certain places, but I'm trying to narrow down the diagnosis of what it could be. So I had you do the test where you held your arm up and you tried to keep it up, and that actually came back positive. So that's telling me that you probably have a rotator cuff issue in that right side. And a lot of you mentioned you played baseball, and that wasn't that long ago. I know you're still pretty young, so a lot of overhead throwing injuries are going to be rotator cuff issues or rotator cuff tears. And that's not, don't think that it can be serious, but with your symptoms, I'm thinking it's not super serious, but we'll get into that later. And then I also noticed you had, so we had that test where we had a couple different tests where you kind of bending. So anytime I had you bending, I was testing sort of your lumbar stability and seeing if there was any radiating pain down the leg. And I did notice you did tell me that you had some radiating pain down that right leg, which tells me you probably have one of your lumbars. So you have your bones in your lumbar spine, and then you have discs in between. So what that tells me is you have a disc that's maybe slightly protruding and putting pressure on one of your nerves, and that could be kind of affecting that could be causing the low back pain down your leg. Okay, and then we also took some x-rays of you. So we took 5, we took 3 of your neck, 2 of your low back. So some main findings that I found, we'll just start bottom or top and work our way down. Biggest thing in the neck, I noticed you have a hypolordosis, which basically means your spine is supposed to curve in like this, curve forward, and yours is just kind of a little straight. So it's supposed to curve forward, yours is just kind of straight. And what this can do is it can actually, and you also had some anterior head carriage. I also noticed that whenever I was looking at your overall posture. And a lot of people have this. This is not super uncommon, especially you said you work a desk job, so this can be super common for that. I even have a little bit of it myself. But what this can do actually is it puts a lot of pressure on your muscles that try to hold your head up, and it puts a lot of pressure in your upper thoracic or your upper mid back. And this can cause a lot of issues because, like I said, your body's constantly compensating. So this can cause issues below and above where this is. And then I also noticed one of your lower cervical vertebrae, so your C6. So usually on the x-rays, I'll show you whenever you come in. Usually the x-rays, you see the spinous processes and they're all in one line. So what I'm looking for is if there's a deviation to one side or the other. So I noticed C6 for you, so it's a lower cervical vertebra is rotated to the left. So that can also contribute to that shoulder pain you're having. And then working our way down, didn't notice anything super remarkable in your mid back, but whenever we got to your lumbars, I noticed that same thing that I told you about. We're supposed to be seeing that straight line with those spinous processes on your vertebra. I noticed the L2 is also rotated to the left. So that can be where that issue is. I was talking about the disc irritation. That can be where that is. That's gonna be where it is. And then on your pelvis, I noticed, so your pelvis is supposed to sit level. So think of this as the top of your hips. Yours kind of wants to sit higher on the right side. So this could contribute or be caused by that L2 issue. So if we want to treat those kind of as a unit, so treat those together, and that's going to really, I think, alleviate a lot of your symptoms. All right, so let's get to the main sort of diagnosis that I want to make. So first, I'm going to say you have a grade 1 rotator cuff sprain. And then lumbar disc irritation is going to be at L1, L2, so that's that rotation. And like we talked about, that loss of cervical curve, and then C6, L2, and pelvis are going to be our main adjusting points. So treatment plan, I want to adjust twice a week for 5 weeks. And we're going to couple this. My main emphasis is coupling adjustments with exercise, because my adjustments aren't going to fix years worth of changes to your body. So exercises are going to speed that along and sort of solidify the work that we're doing in the office. And then one thing I want you to do lifestyle wise, I want you to get up as much as you can whenever you're doing this desk job, and I want you to stop running. I know you said you're a runner. I want to try just kind of do the walking for now, just until we get that disc unirritated. And then cost wise, so I look at $120 for consult and the initial visit, and then $60 per visit after that. But you can talk to our front desk, and she'll give you an outline of full payment. And then there's also a deal if you want to pay in advance. I know that's easier for some people. Okay, and then so we'll do the adjustment today, and then we'll do a follow-up in 5 weeks. Okay, so it's the end of your 5 weeks. I'm happy to see you're doing a lot better. So now that we've improved your main complaints, now I want to get you on sort of a maintenance plan. So maintenance plan is just, I know we got rid of those interferences that I talked about at first, but maintenance plan is just going to make sure you're feeling your best, and there could be things you don't know about that aren't causing symptoms yet. So we want to prevent you from getting symptomatic. We want to be proactive instead of reactive. So what I want you to come in once every 3 weeks for this, and we want to get you feeling your best. Thanks.